Hello everyone, you're welcome to WEtalk series, and today we are here at Open Space Forum for the Youth SDG talk. And briefly about WEtalk series. WEtalk series is a youth-led initiative started this year in May, and all what we're trying to do, we're working in 3 thematic areas where we have SRHR, or sexual reproductive health and rights. We have livelihood and leadership. And the reason why we set up this is to give a platform to the young people to have their voices voiced out, and also to give the right information so that we can ensure social accountability. Our main target is young people between 10 to 35 years, and we are reaching out and working tirelessly on this issue. So today we are here to talk about the SDGs and a brief history about the SDGs as I introduce my visitors today and my panelists today in the studio. So we're going to begin with a brief introduction of each one, and I'll begin from my far right.
Well, thank you, Joseph. My name is Kenneth Wahutea. I'm a Programs Manager, Healing Point International, and a co-chair for East Africa, that is under the 2030 Youth Alliance.
Thank you very much. The only lady in the house.
Hi everyone, my name is Kasaija Joseph. I work with World Vision Uganda as the Monitoring and Evaluation Officer, but I also double as the Communications Committee Chair for Young African Leadership Center, Regional Center, Uganda Chapter. Thank you.
Thank you very much. And our special guest today.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Ashraf Kakaire. I work with the Open Space Center. I do communications and partnerships for this organization. I'm also Uganda.
Yes, please.
Well, thank you, Joseph, and thanks WEtalk series for this initiative. Thanks Open Space for hosting us. My name is Francis Nabil. I work with the African Monitor. African Monitor is an advocacy-based organization, and I lead the East African chapter on Citizens Report. Citizen Report is a program of young people which amplifies their voices in participation in the implementation of SDGs in their countries.
Okay, thank you. You're all welcome today. So the reason why we are here today, maybe my name is Joseph Kasaija. I'm also a Women Deliver Young Leader representing Uganda, and also a public health specialist by profession, and I'm also working with WEtalk series. So the reason why we are here is to share about the SDGs. We know the young people out there have been hearing about the SDGs, others haven't heard about SDGs. However, I want to give out information, disseminate the right information, and also ensure that they also take part in the accountability of achieving the SDGs or the Agenda 2030. So the reason why we're having this SDG talk, one, we are trying to have a roadmap, because most of us last year, 2017, we were in Ghana, and we attended the maiden, or the first African Youth SDG, organized by Youth Advocates Ghana, APO Foundation, and UNFPA Ghana. And from this summit, we had what we call a communique. Very many young people all over Africa came and attended. And at the end, we gave recommendations. One of the recommendations was to go back to our countries and make sure, as delegates who attended that year, we do something, implement what we learned there and the knowledge we shared. And this year's SDG Summit is going to happen in November from 7th to 9th, 2018. It will also be in Accra International Conference Center. And we encourage everyone to apply and also to be part of the summit. So the reason why you're here is to track our progress and the track from since we attended, what we have come to implement, what have we achieved according to the communique. I'll be talking about the communique in the future time coming. And also we have Open Space Africa, Open Space Forum, the biggest implementers in Uganda about the SDGs, and have taken it very far to schools and to teachers, as Mr. Ashraf will be explaining us more and more. So briefly, before I begin, would like to share your experience about the 2017 SDGs, especially the delegates who went there. I'll begin with you, Mr. Kenneth.
Well, the 2017 Maiden African Youth SDGs Summit was, I should say, a very amazing and eye-opening opportunity for any young person that attended it. We were a team of 5 Ugandans, but trust me, I came back, and for the time I was there, I was able to network with quite a number of different partners from different organizations who were able to establish benchmarks and establish ground as well for partnering in the projects that we are going to be doing, and a few that we've been able to do together, both online and physically. So I believe it was an opportunity that I would encourage any young person out there to partake of this year come November 7th to the 9th in Accra.
Yeah, that's really interesting. Let's have something from Mrs. Betty.
Thank you. Well, for me, it's actually the same like Kenneth. I had the opportunity to really interact with very many people who are actually implementing some of the things that we are doing back here in Uganda. But aside from the interaction bit of it, I had an opportunity to learn, especially the sessions, the keynote addresses from people. But one thing that impressed me was the session about women and girls in leadership and development with, of course, economic development. I got something which really sparked up my passion, and when I got back, when we will be discussing, I will share what happened to me when I got back from Ghana.
Wow, we are really looking forward to that. Yeah. And Mr. Francis, the gentleman from African Monitor.
Thank you very much. For us as African Monitor, we're very privileged to partner with Youth Advocacy Ghana to have the summit in Accra. Before the summit, African Monitor was running a program called Voice Africa's Future, where young people we are saying out to the Africa they wanted to see, the Uganda they wanted to see, the Kenya they wanted to see, the Zimbabwe they wanted to see. So the Africa SDGs Summit was an opportunity for us to meet young people and then hear from themselves, also hear from ourselves. What next? What the young people want to do after voicing what they want to see? Are they ready to participate in the implementation of the Sustainable Development Goals? Because what they said was incorporated in the framework.
Okay, thank you very much. I don't heard anyone talk about the food and the culture. How was the food? I know most of you are complaining about the chili and everything.
Serve for the chili, but the lack of diversity of sauce was a terrible experience. But nevertheless, the learning
that's what you call culture shock. When you move, you get to learn. I got to eat fufu, I got to eat crab, and all those things.
Yeah, but for me, what's really amazed me was that I was able to even experience what I studied in history. Is it history? Like Kwame Nkrumah, that history. So I had a chance to go and visit the museum, and also it was a privilege that we actually sat at Kofi Annan Center, and he has been my idol. So for me, it was so fulfilling.
Sorry about the loss, you can't take us on. And also, I enjoyed the beach, though it was really hot at night, and I was surprised the breeze at the bridge was really hot. Yeah, so I'm going to begin with Mr. Ashraf, and we just want you to explain what Sustainable Development Goals, because all of us are saying SDGs, you are experts in SDGs, but there are young people out there who don't know what SDGs are, or some of them have been hearing it, they're not even taking the initiative to learn or contribute, or maybe they'll even be contributing, but they don't know what they are.
Thank you so much for starters, for the team. You've already taken me to Accra, to Ghana, and back. With the food and the stories you're talking about. I feel I've been there. I'm back to the Pearl of Africa. The Sustainable Development Goals is a world agenda, a UN agenda, that is for a time scope of 15 years, from 2015 up to 2030. As open space, our work looks at broadening space and opportunities for young people to unlock their full potentials. We believe that young people in this country have a lot of full potentials and probably try to address to some of the global agendas. Now, when we come to some of the global agendas, here comes the Sustainable Development Goals. As open space, we positioned ourselves in Uganda and decided to take on the role of promoting awareness of the SDGs, but particularly to the young people. Why young people? We thought young people are very important as far as implementing or monitoring and evaluation of these goals is concerned. When you look at the people in different areas or leadership spaces in Uganda, in 15 years time from now, they may not be where they are. And guess what will be in those positions? The young people in universities and secondary schools now. So as an organization, we chose to use debate as a tool to create awareness of SDGs in Uganda. And we thought we could not only do it with only students, because we cannot be in schools every now and then. So we chose to first get teachers and train them into the 17 Sustainable Development Goals, which we did at a teachers camp for a training. After, we chose 15 students per school for 20 schools, and we trained the students into the goals first. Then also trained them through debate. So we're trying to amalgamate debate into the SDGs. Why did we choose debate as a tool? We believe that debate is a process where someone has to make research, critically analyze and take on things or issues, they come and present them. By the time they come and debate issues or goals, they have researched on the goals. After researching on the goals, they critically analyze on the associated targets on a particular goal, then they come and present. So when you look at these processes, if a student or a teacher is taken through the training, then after the training of the SDGs, then the training of the debate, then when they begin the inter-school debating competitions, there and then they are already well versed with the Sustainable Development Goals. After the inter-school, we chose to have what we call the Youth Symposium on SDGs, which had never happened in Uganda. And on the symposium, we particularly chose to formulate a youth plan on SDGs. So that's how we've tried to work on the SDGs.
Wow, that's really interesting and a great initiative. And we're so proud that Open Space Center is really doing this great work. And it's really interesting. So briefly also to share about the aim of the African Youth SDG Summit, and we'll be very grateful to see Open Space also participate. Registration is still on. Everyone who's watching us live, please go on WEtalk Summit and you'll be able to register online. But trust me, this year they're looking at over 1,000 people, young people, going to be in Ghana and Accra, and it's going to be interesting, for example, learning on the different agendas. Because recently I was watching, I was reading something on SDGs, SDG Center of Africa shared, and currently Morocco in Africa is the best on implementing and achieving SDGs, one which is leading so far. And I was asking myself, okay, as an SDG advocate, how far and what's stopping us from reaching where Morocco is. So the main aim of the summit is to amplify the voice of the African youth, to showcase the innovation, the lesson learned, and how best you can work, you can have that synergy to work together so we can achieve these SDGs. Because remember, they are universal, but still also they also look at the continent, how we are working. And each country, we understand that each country has different policy recommendations or environment, different culture, different regional aspects that come in that affect SDGs. So briefly, I would want to begin by giving you some updates about the communique, what happened last year. So the main topics they looked at, all the recommendations that we looked at, one was African youth governance and participation. We talked about that a lot during the Maiden Summit. And young people shared on how they're doing leadership, how they're getting the safe spaces out there, and things that were suppressing their outbursts or giving out their voices. Then we also had African youth and disability, because the people with disability have been left out, and this also cuts on because they have the same right that they would also participate in SDGs. Yeah, and because SDG 10, it says reduce inequalities. Then we had also African youth and employment. Employment is a really challenge young people are facing through. We even have poor employed young people, whereby you're employed by the amount of money you're earning, it can only sustain you for your lunch, your transport and rent and your back. So you get salary, the moment you get salary, that same day still gone. Yeah, then we also had something to discuss about African youth and food security. I remember there's a gentleman who came and showcased about the farm he had put up, the piggery, he had how they call that, cocoa plantation, and how he was trying to transform his community and employing other people. Like, people don't want to do farming, but when he began up planting cocoa on a large scale, and it was now distributing everywhere. Then also we talked about youth environment, wash and health, that I couldn't miss. The different aspects that wash are affecting the young people. Then also we talked about young women and leadership. I don't know if you're really keen about this that session. And not to forget also peace, justice and security. Yeah, so that's some of the recommendations. So from all those recommendations were in the communique, so what I want to follow up and what have you done about this? And I would also want to begin asking you a few questions, and yeah, we're going to feel free and share with the rest. Yeah, so I would love to begin with Betty. Should I begin with the only lady in the house? Ladies first. Are you ready for it? Yeah, so let's begin briefly and want to have an open discussion. So from the SDG, the Maiden SDG Summit, when you got back, can you tell us your story? What changed? What did you think about? What ideas did you get? And what have you been doing about it?
Well, thank you, Joseph. I think a lot has happened to me personally as a person. One, before I went for the summit, I was working with local government, Agago District local government, in the health sector specifically, doing monitoring and evaluation. But when I went to the summit, I felt like I wasn't really doing so much, and like I was utilizing my potential, yeah? And when I just got back, I made a decision. I don't think this is where I still want to continue. I think I need to move somewhere and probably change even like my line of work. Maybe if I can find something that resonates with me, like I used something, yeah? And it was so amazing. Around February, World Vision put up an advert, and the project that I'm supposed to, the project that it put the advert for was for the young people. It was about economic empowerment. So
wow.
I applied and I was given the job, and trust me, I feel like I'm in the right place because I get to do so much. I get to interact with a lot of young people, and I can get first-hand information. I am able to also share with them about the Sustainable Development Goal. It wasn't like really I was disappointed as such, but I felt like I'd really done so much, and I'm like, what is it new that I'm still missing? But I also felt like an urge from the summit, like I think it's better I do something that involves young people, like really. And well, then I decided to move on. So again, with the issue of unemployment, of course people are always complaining, we have no jobs. But in Uganda, trust me, every year, I think about 10,000 people are getting out of the university, and there are no more industries being like, like constructed or stuff like that. So even the people who are getting out of the university are struggling for the little work that is available. So for me, I thought, you can't preach something if people can't see it from you. I decided, well, I was disappointed in 2014, but let's do this because it really, I got quite a lot from the summit. I needed to do something that people can I can be an example. So I got into farming and I planted cotton, 30 acres.
Wow.
Imagine, guys.
You must be a donor right now.
Because I will come to that. But I thought, when I start talking about these issues, and someone asked me, so what is it that you're doing? And you're telling me to do this. So I thought I would use that as an example.
That's really, really interesting. And I will need to hear more about that. You being a donor right now, maybe you will expose all of us.
We should support some young people out there to come to the summit.
Yeah, and the other thing would be like sharing all this information. That's why as WEtalk series are doing this, and they can come, maybe contact you, and you'll be sharing your details later on. So you have been talking about the education thing, and I have expert on education. So Mr. Kenneth, you are an eminent rights and health activist and education activist, and have been working in the education sector, transforming lives of the vulnerable children, and also supporting them even spiritually, working with the organization. So how did the Maiden SDG Summit in 2017, how was it of relevance, and what have you been doing, how have you been fronting most of the issues that are pushed forward?
Well, thank you so much, Joseph, for that good question posed. To begin with, the SDG Summit, the Maiden African Youth SDGs Summit in Ghana, 2017 was a blessing and a great opportunity for me as a person. In this sense, I happened not to only just participate as a delegate, but I happened to be one of the moderators.
Wow.
Or let's say the only Ugandan moderator.
I remember.
So I happened to moderate a panel where we had civic leaders. And it was one thing that caught my attention most was to realize that across Africa, across the world, because we had some delegates from as far as Italy, we young people are suffering the same kind of challenges, and hence using different kinds of approaches. And being on this kind of platform where we are sharing knowledge to know what someone in Young is doing, what someone in Oxfam is doing to address a particular cause, I think was amazing.
Wow.
From that platform as a moderator, I came out and knew that when I go back to Uganda, I knew that I have a role to play as a young person. Gone are the days where we used to think that it's about the policy makers, the members of parliament, the people in, those big positions, call them the big officers, the office bearers. When I got back from Ghana, I think we got back in November.
Yeah.
Right in November, that very November, I had an event away from education, a bit away from education. I organized what we call, in our organization, the Healing Point, we organized what we call the Go Lady Women Empowerment Dinner.
I remember that.
At this dinner, we had people like Halima Namakula. We had prominent bankers, female bankers like Cynthia Mpanga, who is the branding manager of St. Stan Church.
Okay.
We had Irene Birunji, who works with the State House, and trust me, it was a great platform. We wanted to bring young ladies to believe in themselves even more, to believe that because of the challenges they're going through today, they're not the first, and neither are they going to be the last. However, we brought people that have walked the path that they're walking, and to empower them and give them more highlights on how best they could tackle these challenges. Let me quickly rush to education. Healing Point International has a program called the School Outreach Program. And in this, we organize the Winner Within Youth Conference. You can hear the name of this event itself, the Winner Within. Yeah. We believe each one of us is created uniquely. And there is that innate winner within us that we just need to unlock. And trust me, we'll all soar high like an eagle. Many a times, our education system trains us to get done with school, look for a job, sit in an office. But just like my colleague Betty shared, over 40,000. Last week I was sharing with Professor Boreti from Makerere University, Faculty of Agriculture. She told me apparently Makerere lets out 40,000 graduates annually. 40,000. Where are all these people going? They're all competing for an office where the one Joseph is seated and the one 60-year-old person is seated. How better can we make ourselves be of purpose? Healing Point comes out and says that they're what we call employable skills and soft skills. We love talking about the soft skills more. Our education system trains us with education, the formal sector, and then that's it. Have we gotten down to address issues like self-esteem? Do you realize that today many people can graduate but cannot face an interview panel? They cannot express ideas they have, even when given donors at their access. They cannot express or pitch an opportunity. Yes. We are coming out and saying, hey, young people, we have an opportunity. We have programs where we're going to take you through a self-esteem restoration so that you can beat the odds and be able not to just use your class education, but even sniff more bigger opportunities. We have programs, we have our clubs established in schools, what we could call the esteemed clubs. Go to St. Joseph's Girls' School in Zambia, go to Chisubi High School. Recently this year we were in St. Bernard's, Manya, deep down in Rakai. We were amazed that these kids in rural schools, in rural settings, have great potential. And I'm talking about leadership potential compared to even the town students that we're having here. But they only need that voice to go out there and share, unlock this potential. About the way the mode of operation is, it would really take a lot of time. But just know that as far as the education sector is concerned, we've been able to reach out to at least not less than 5,000 young people in schools. That is so far dealing in secondary schools. But we are rolling out a program in universities, beginning with Makerere University, of course, together with Professor Boreti, who willingly expressed interest in being part of the team to transform the education sector of Uganda. Wow. And we surely believe that we shall be able to do that.
That's really interesting, and I think you need to work out with Open Space because we also have an interesting...
sure, we'll be glad.
Yeah, an interesting program. But before we come to Open Space, I have my big man here. Before I went for the SDG Summit, I reached out to him and sent him a message. And we didn't know ourselves so much, and by the time I got there, I was like, oh, you're the Joseph, like I talked to her, I'm like, yeah. And it was really a funny moment that we left Uganda and met in Ghana. So, Mr. Francis,
yes,
I would like to ask you something very simple. So, you're working with African Monitor, and I've seen you people sharing about the citizen report, and also the citizen report fits back into the SDGs. So maybe briefly first tell me about what is the citizen report and why African Monitor is doing that and where is it being rolled out and what is the aim about the report.
Sure, thank you. Well, like I said before, a year before after the first
The maiden SDGs,
summit,
yeah.
African Youth was running a program called Voice Africa, where young people were feeding into the development of the Sustainable Development Goals.
Yes, sir.
And while at the summit, we listened to young people. Because I was one of the young people, we said, how can we go a step further? Now that young people have provided input into the development of their national development plans, they have provided an input into the development of the SDGs through the My World Survey and other international forums. How can we move a step further? So on the second day of the first SDG summit, as African Monta, we decided to launch the Citizens Report.
Okay.
Where the citizens, the rural communities, the wananchi, you and me, who are not connected to the systems, are able to look at service delivery and check where are the loopholes. Who are those people who are being left behind? For example, in Uganda, we have a case of a younger grandmother of 27 years in Kasaija.
The youngest grandmother.
We have the Batwa tribe, one of the
Batwa tribe in
Western Uganda.
So marginalized.
Some people are still living on trees as shelter. They cannot even afford what we call the worst house. They can't even afford that.
And here we are preaching for universal health care,
so we're saying
equality.
We need to have those citizens provide input, provide critique, avail themselves to provide alternatives into these frameworks at the local councils, the district, or at the sub-counties. Are the budgets displayed? Do people know what they should expect from their local government? All the budgets are being hidden somewhere. Because without information, you cannot ask what you don't know. And you cannot expect what you don't know. So there was kind of a scenario where the common people, the grassroots people, were kind of in a corner waiting for something to come from government. When we are saying no, the people should be asking something from government, not waiting. And when that something is given, be it a school, be it a hospital, be it a road, people should be expecting a certain quality, a certain quantity, and they should be checking. And also, people should be involved in the monitoring and implementation of such programs. So that's the core of the system.
If we want to achieve the SDGs at Agenda 2030, we have to have everyone on board.
Leave no one behind.
Yeah, leaving no one behind.
True.
And the theme for this year, for the African Youth SDGs in 2018, they talk about moving from policy into practice or action. And that's what we're trying to look at. Yes, in Uganda we've made a lot of policies, but however much even other neighboring countries are borrowing our policies and they are working. But in Uganda nothing is being implemented. Yeah, so Mr. Ashraf, back to you, open space. I love even the word open space. So my question is going to come from the word open space. Yes, as Open Space Center, and I want to know about the SDGs. How have you created safe spaces for youth? You know that this year's International Youth Day, the theme was creating safe spaces for youth, and I'm very happy that at least most of us participated. And there was an annual youth festival that Open Space that organized, they're the main conveners, and they brought on board very many other people and other organizations. And I was even surprised to see Yali there, and I was like, oh, we're here. Yeah, and it was really interesting that young people came, go to learn, and there was just free fun and comedy, and advancing the SDGs. So how have you as Open Space created safe spaces for these youth?
First of all, the answer comes from our name. We are called Open Space. I so much to open and the boundaries for young people to be part of the broader conversations. So we are called Open Space simply because it reflects exactly what we are doing as an organization. We believe that as young people, they just need to be part of the processes. If we are not part of the solutions, then we are part of the problem. So we want as so much as possible to give young people a platform to come and discuss these issues, to talk about them, and even to understand exactly the content on the Sustainable Development Goals #1 and 2, on the different associated targets on particular goals. That's how we've been able to create and open these spaces.
Okay, so what challenges have you so far faced in your implementation or your programming, and
Oh my God.
how have you overcome them?
When you look at the reporting mechanism of sustainable development goals from different countries, from the Prime Minister's office, there is that mechanism on how they report. You will agree with me that very many young people in Uganda, or very many organizations, are doing a lot of work on particular sustainable development goals. One gets goal number 4 of quality education, and he does a lot of work on that goal. This one gets goal number 7 and does a lot of work on goal, but in isolation. What we are doing as an organization is to create a youth panel on SDGs, an expert team of young people, 20 young people, that can come and talk about SDGs with authority, where we can have clear mechanisms of reporting as far as those people that in the NGO fraternity, to know that, okay, he's doing ABCD, I'm doing HIJK, he's doing this on a particular goal, and this is how we are reporting. We can also be having joint programming. So by so doing, we can be in position to achieve the goals. Lastly, we talked about the challenges. People do not understand the sustainable development goals, and it comes from our leadership. I'm sorry to mention, these government officials keep the discussions in boardrooms. People think SDGs are discussions of white or Western worlds, you know. So we need to domesticate the sustainable development goals as much as possible, which we are trying to do.
Hope everyone who's online is learning something. I wanted to share with you a little about the issue that I'm going to discuss about the focus areas of the African Youth SDGs Summit 2018, the second one in Ghana. So the focus areas are going to include young people and reproductive health aligned to SDG 3, which I'm sitting on. And oh, please don't look at what you're sitting on, because I have a question for you. Then also we have gender equality aligned to SDG 5, do not copy. And we have urban sanitation aligned to SDG 6. Then youth employment and migration, because I've been having a lot of issues with migration, and there's been happening even in Uganda. Very many people are being taken abroad and they're facing a lot of challenges. We also have climate change and smart agriculture. I had someone talk about agriculture, which is aligned to SDG 13. And then finally, the youth leadership and governance aligned to SDG 16. Remember, we have 17 SDGs. So today we are seated on SDGs. And I would want each one of you to share. First of all, do you know what SDG you're seated on?
Mr. Quality education.
Which is SDG 4. And
I am not sure.
You're not sure. Wow, and that was my trick to do that. Yes.
So this is number 13, which is climate change.
Climate change, yes, and
I've not looked there, but I know the concept of SDG.
yes, so we can have a look at what you are seated on, because I want to ask you a question.
Oh,
yeah, so I'm seated on SDG 3, good health and well-being. You're on
Gender equality.
gender equality,
SDG number 5.
that is number 5, and you're on 13 climate action. Really interesting, and you are
Peace and justice.
peace and justice, and
Number 4,
I
quality
said right.
education.
quality education. And we have the other SDGs on the wall. Those who don't know about them, there are 17 of them. How do you think SDG 4, quality education, what are your recommendations about?
Well, thank you so much. I'm glad I'm sitting on this. I'm very passionate about quality education. By quality education, I'm talking about a whole education, not just a bit of education. What I'm talking about is let's embrace more of these vocational and soft skills outside our co-curricular activity, our curriculum we have of the formal education, the biology. Yes, it's all important. Of course, you wouldn't be relevant in our world today without that education. But not all of us are destined to benefit or to yield from that formal education system. I think let's the policymakers, with we ourselves as the drivers of change, push more for our soft skills and the vocational education to be taken on more in the schools.
Wow, very interesting. Thank you very much. Let's go to
Peace and justice. It would be so good for me to start from what are the challenges that I'm seeing that are happening in regards to goal number 16. First of all, if we're talking about safety, peace, justice, there are a lot of things that are happening in this country. Heard about issues of kidnap, a lot of people have been kidnapped, and not just kidnapped, but after being kidnapped, they look for them, they never find them, and the next time they find them, it's a corpse. Okay? We can't talk about peace and simply because we do not have like guns, yeah? But still, we need the social peace that everybody needs to have. Of course, we need to create a space where all these things are out. So for me, I would think our government needs to do much more in regards to security, not just guns, but finding solutions around how we can do away with some of these issues.
Thank you very much. Briefly, Mr.
Yes, climate action, as you know, when you talk of climate action, one thing you need to understand is SDGs, the 17 SDGs are somehow interrelated. Look at some of the challenges we're having globally, not even only in Uganda, it's global warming. And why we're having this is because of climate action. We better begin thinking that climate action is a resource itself. Once we do not handle it very well, we are going to all suffocate and the world will be normal.
Okay, thank you very much. Mr. Francis.
Thank you.
Gender equality.
Thank you, Joseph. One, gender equality is real. And not fight poverty, where the gender inequality is not handled. Because we cannot talk about equality when we are all muted. We are going nowhere. I think for me, going forward is that we need to speak and speak to the loudspeakers, such that gender inequality is handled. There are mechanisms. Researchers and scholars have come up with the solutions. But when we don't speak about those solutions, nothing is being done, and I'm here to amplify voices on that.
That's really interesting. I'm part of the Women Deliver, and what we're trying to do in Women Deliver is about gender equality, making a safe space for the girls and women. Since they're the most depressed in this situation, and in SRHR leadership and all those spaces. And we're doing a lot because we're doing a global movement of young leaders all over the world. And next year we shall have a conference in around June in Vancouver, and I will be part of that. Yeah, so me I would want to talk about SDG 3 briefly. And everyone, most people think SDG is about health. And most people have, because I know the other 16 all contribute to health. And without the others, this cannot go on. They affect it directly. However, people need to understand we need like a multi-sector approach when we're talking about SDG 3, health and well-being. Because there are very many factors that come in, and most of them, and I love the 17 goals, that they work hand in hand. What message do you have for them so that they can apply and also be part of this initiative? Let me begin with.
Well, thank you once again, Joseph. My main message to the young people out there. Friends, let's go shine in Ghana. This year is going to be very amazing. I happen to be part of the organizing committee, luckily.
Wow.
So I want to assure people that it's going to be totally different. It's going to be one unique opportunity. We have our own Ugandan as one of the patrons this time round. Yes. So you can imagine how Uganda is going to be well represented there. Last year we only had delegates and of course a few moderators, but this year we're believing that with a patron, with moderators and with a big delegation, surely we can air out our opinions there, we can make Ugandan shine, and then come back here and arise and air out our opinions as young people, and we'll surely make a change that we want to see.
Thank you very much. Also to tell the people out there, you can go on www.youthsdgsummit.org to register. The registration link is there. You'll be able to register. Yes, back to you, Betty.
Finally, please go attend. First of all, you don't need a visa to go to Ghana. That's really one greatest. But also, what I'm trying to say is that it's a really great space. You are going to come back with a lot of contacts. If you have ideas and you're implementing something, that's even an opportunity for you to pitch your idea. There's so many people there, including donors, and you have room for collaboration. So the cost really, like the air ticket, some of you will say, the air ticket I might not be able to afford. It might look costly for now, but in the end, when you actually go and come back, you know,
worth it.
the benefit is more than just the $500 or something.
As if I've been to Ghana before, from the discussions here, as we are opening the space, I'm very proud to be opening the space this year, and we are going to be closing the borders, so let's meet that.
Wow, that's really interesting. You heard it from the main man. Yes, back to my big man from African Monitor, Mr. Francis.
Well, I want to assure everyone that African Monitor will be there.
Wow. Are you sponsoring some of us?
It is a yes and no.
That's a political answer.
One, African Monitor will be there, and because SDG number 17 is about partnership,
Yes.
there is no any other, if there are not many opportunities to create partnership than such a big gathering for young people on the continent. It is an opportunity to network, to partner, as well as learn from colleagues. We cannot implement SDGs in our sub-county alone, or in our district, or in our region. So we need to create this partnership, and I call upon everyone to do their best they can within their means.
That's really interesting. And so thank you very much for coming, but I want an answer of a yes and a no. My last question before we close up the show. Do you think the Agenda 2030 will be achieved by that time, Mr. Kenneth?
Together, if we can work together, yes.
If we work together, yes. You put a condition on that. Betty?
I believe yes.
You
For
believe?
my country, yes. Because
Uganda?
we have the energy, we have the potential, we have the greatest proportion of young people. So why not?
Thank you very much. Mr. Ashra.
With leaving no one behind. Yes.
For me, it is a big yes.
So big
It is
yes.
about us and your course.
Okay. You know, you realize your remaining is like 12 years, 25
we
years.
are on course.
Okay. Yeah, thank you very much for being part of this discussion. I'm really very grateful, and I've been Joseph, your host, and I would have to introduce yourself and say bye to our listeners and our watchers out there. Speaking with Mr. Kenneth.
Again, my name is Kenneth Wabdea, Program Manager, Healing Point International. Kindly check out www.healingpointinternational.org to check out our various works, and we'll be glad to interact with you further.
And I am Majok Betlanyero from World Vision Uganda. I also work with Young African Leaders Regional Leadership Center, the Uganda chapter, as the communications chair.
Thank you very much. And
Kasaija Ashraf from Open Space Center at openspaceyouth.org. That's why you find us. We are very, very proud to open this space for young people.
wow, thank you very much.
AfricanMonitor.org is our website. I work with the African Monitor. My name is Francis Maiden, and I'll be in Ghana.
You'll be in Ghana. Wow, come this year. And I'm Joseph Kasaija. I work with WEtalk series, and we are very glad WEtalk series to be part of this session and coordinate the session. However, we want to thank Open Space for hosting us and giving us such a beautiful center. Yeah, the space is open. So if you're out there, you can always come to Ntinda, Kampala, next to Hotel Eliana. You can come and pay a visit, a courtesy visit, and get to know about their work and everything. Or you can visit their website. However, find this conversation on YouTube. The video will be live. And our YouTube is WEtalk Series UG, and then also on Twitter we are at WEtalk Series Official. Facebook is WEtalk Series. Go on this platform, like our page, share our page, and hope to see you in Ghana 2018 come November 7th to 9th. Thank you very much.